I mean, I've got a really itchy nose for some reason, so it's just not good.
And that's how we start the video. Hey everyone, we've got Galaxy Racer, Andy the Mandy. You can see him on webcam. We've also got Eekso joining
Can't
us.
afford a webcam.
Just came off the top 8. So Eekso hasn't got the money yet, which means he can't afford a webcam right now.
Sadly not. I'm in debt.
But you guys did make 2 top 8s in a row, including the major. You guys have been proving as the season goes on. So how have you guys actually managed this level of improvement over the season?
You can go first, Andy, bro.
Me, okay. I think this is kind of like a simple question, but we all have, I think, I don't know the word to explain it, but we all have a lot of motivation as a team. Like every single one of us has said, yeah, we're happy with top 8, but we now want to be the best. Like we've proved we can play in that top 8 standard consistently. We want to be the best, and we're going to do everything to do that. So we do loads of like coaching sessions. We keep up with all scrims. Everyone's playing consistently in ranked. Everyone's playing like 1s, 2s, and 3s. Like they're getting everything, like all sorts of practicing in a way. If that makes sense, like we're just all pushing to be better and better every single time. So the consistency is just coming from like sort of like a reward from that.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you, Eekso?
I mean, I don't really know what he's on about with the 1s, 2s, and 3s. I mean, I don't think I've seen Matane play 1s in like.
All right. Maybe not Matane. No,
I mean, yeah, it's just about like balancing the hours, really. I mean, as long as we're not just like focusing on one issue or like one side of the thing, like we're not just focusing on scrims, like we're focusing on field as well. We're focusing on like replays, and we don't just go over like team mistakes. We go over individuals, so we can all reflect on it.
Yeah.
But I think like the reason we made such good progress is obviously like the roster move from Taz to Arju. I just think like we kind of needed a roster move, and we did it at the right time. I don't know.
I know
that's the main reason.
I know I've talked to you about this kind of stuff before, but because Arju leads me to this, who do you think is the most underrated player on your team?
I mean, I'll let Andy answer that if he wants.
Why me? I think everyone's underrated in their own respect, personally, because I think Eekso's consistency is very underrated. I feel like I hardly ever see him, especially in RLCS, have a bad series. I think he's always playing to a really good level. But I think, like, obviously, Arju getting kicked from Mouse and not given that chance at the RLCS level, I think is very underrated for him. Like, I don't think that was fair. I think he was definitely good enough to be on that team. And it was just like the one spring series performance, and they're like, yeah, see you later, And then with Mitten, I feel like his name's not really out there at all. Like, no one understands how well he really understands the game, and like how much he's kept up, even though before, like, he hasn't had like as much experience as a lot of players at this level, but he just keeps up really well. So I'd say they're all underrated in their own respect.
That's cute.
I
think Matane's probably the most underrated, yeah. I don't think anyone talks about Matane, so that's like why. I think he's really like he's got loads of potential, and he has like a really unique playstyle in my opinion. Like he isn't really like flashy, and he isn't really like slow. He kind of just controls his mechanics in a weird way. It's like kind of like K-Dop when he. Well, I don't want to roast K-Dop, but K-Dop when he was playing like better. I don't know how to explain it. He's not really like playing his best right now.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw in one just because this name wasn't mentioned, but surely Andy the Mandy gets a little shout out since everybody else.
Okay.
Nobody knows who Andy is, and yet
Yeah, that is actually true. To be fair, Andy actually is a goat.
Yeah.
Andy is a good coach, very underrated coach.
Well, you all right. So I know we sort of talked a little bit about this the other day, actually, but how would you, Eekso, describe the team's playstyle?
I mean, like, I don't know.
I think it's shifted a bit recently.
I mean, it's a bit like, I don't think there is one play style. I think we play like multiple sometimes. But the general idea is that like I'm the aggressive player on the team.
Yeah.
Arju's kind of like, I don't know. Arju's kind of like a free spirit in his own way. Kind of just like, I don't know how to describe Arju. Arju's just like there. And then Matane's like second man. I don't know. Arju's a really like hard player to describe.
I think Arju's a false third man. Like in a way, he's kind of the third man of the team in the fact that we have a first and a second man, but we don't have a third man. It's kind of weird to explain, but But I think we're a really aggressive team, and I think a lot of times we rely more on out pressuring opponents than like relying on our defense.
Your
But yeah.
first match though is against Triple Trouble. You guys actually have a pretty decent record against them, including like a win in what, the grid week 6. So are you really happy? Is that probably the best team for you to have got in the top 8?
Yeah, no doubt, easily.
Is there like a play style that you like that they play? Do you feel like it's just because, you know, they're maybe not the best team, you know, strength wise, or is it specifically a play style matchup that you like against Triple Trouble?
I think compared to the rest of the teams in like the top 8, I don't think they're like as good, personally. And like, I'd rather play Triple Trouble than any team there. It's not really a play style. I mean, it's not like we absolutely counter Triple Trouble, but I just feel like we're just kind of better than them. So I just think we'll beat them.
All right. Now,
kind of simple.
I know you guys have been watching some of the other regions too, and you know, maybe there's some international stuff in the future for you guys. So what are your thoughts on like NA, SAM, and OCE compared to EU at the moment?
I think I'll quickly start on this one. I think we were pretty like we were wanted to look at sort of like NA, especially in their major first stage. I watched them quite a bit, and I felt like personally watching like a team like, let's say, KCP, right, and they're meant to be like the same sort of level as us. I feel right now, you know, like between closing on that top 4, but kind of like towards the middle of it, kind of thing, yeah. And I could kind of see some similarities in like the mechanics and things like that. I thought the mechanics were quite impressive, but I thought in terms of like how they looked after the ball, or how they looked to kind of like play out using each other and things like that, I didn't think they were like up to EU standards. I think EU looks a lot more controlled, like in the play style, but it looks a bit less mechanically, I think. Does that make sense?
I personally think that NA like doesn't really. They get way more space on the ball. I don't think they're like a worse region. I think they may be even better right now than EU, but I just think it's a play style difference because NA like looks more mechanical because there's more space on the ball. I literally think EU players just challenge the ball instantly all the time. Like you rarely ever get any time in EU.
Yeah, you know,
to be honest, and that's
I've
why
noticed the same. Do you get what are your thoughts about SAM and OCE?
You can start this one, Eekso. No. Well, I did last one.
I think OCE like has potential. Obviously, I don't really like watch them very much, but like I know there's like obviously Drippe like moving to NA ages ago. Didn't really have the best seasons. I mean, season with Evil Geniuses, right? And then he moved back to OCE. I mean, that's kind of like a showcase, really, of like OCE in general, because the best player at the time moved to NA and kind of just didn't do anything, you know. I think it's kind of still the same. Like, I think OCE is just kind of behind NA and EU. I think South America's like maybe better than OCE. It's kind of hard to tell though. Like, they're both like the same level to me. I think Sam might have better mechanics though. But I have no idea. Like, literally no idea. I mean, because South America players can play NA players, right, in ranked.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So they're probably better than them because they have that like ranked experience. I think that's like huge when it comes to improvement. Being able to play against the best players in anything, really.
All right.
Yeah.
One last question then. You know, and I know this one's especially targeted at Eekso. I know what Andy's response should be. But Eekso, I know, is a little bit of a wuss when it comes to this kind of question. So money on the line, you know, bets on. Do you make worlds this year?
I'm just not even gonna bother. You can go, Andy, bro.
Oh, you want me? Okay. Money on the line. Do we make worlds? I mean, obviously, I would love to make worlds, and I think we can. In my opinion, I think we've shown like a lot of consistency throughout the first split already, and I think things are only going to get better. Like, they've got more promising towards the end as well. There's been a couple of good results in there, and if we kept this consistency up all split, let's say the first 2 regionals we got top 8, I know that if we make top 8, you know, regional 1, 2, 3, and the major, I know that in one of those occasions we're going to push through and maybe even win one of them. So I think we're definitely possible to win worlds. Make worlds, sorry.
Oh, now we're winning worlds already.
Right.
Now the confidence is there.
No.
Wait, how many teams qualify from EU for worlds?
6.
It's definitely possible. I mean, I don't know about like guaranteed money on the line. I mean, I think personally we are a top 6 team in the EU right now. So like, but then it's also about performing when it matters, making playoffs. We haven't exactly made playoffs every time, but I put that down to like first time not really playing with like our best roster, and then the second time getting used to Ardu.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like we're kind of like sorting out the issues. The mentality is good. I'd probably say we don't make worlds though. I don't want to jinx it. Like what's the point of saying we make worlds and not making it? It's just dead. It'd just be sad. So why not say we're not going to make worlds, and if we make it, then I'm hyped. Why not?
Is there kind of a couple of teams there that you're thinking, fighting in that 5th to 8th spot that are the ones that you're most like worried about, or that you're expecting to be fighting potentially for that spot?
Probably Endpoint. I think Endpoint will be that team.
Yeah.
I think they're doing really well in standings. So like they're kind of the only team that's really at the same level in terms of standings. Like unless I'm just absolutely dumb.
I think Barca and
Yeah, but I think Barca will probably make it. I think Barca will probably make it. Like,
I think the top 5 will be BDS, Top Blokes, Vitality, Giants, Barca, and then it will kind of be like us and Endpoint fighting for that 6th spot. Maybe with like Guild.
I don't know. I don't know about Guild. I think Guild was sort of like because Guild really have had shaky like what's it called Swiss like stages because they always get to the 5th game and they kind of get lucky with their matchups in my opinion. Like they've had to play fairly easy teams in the 5th game. So I mean maybe they don't get lucky sometimes, get a really hard team and then they don't make it. Just kind of simple, kind of easy stuff. Who knows? Who knows really? What do you think you'll be choosing, man? What's your opinion?
I believe, like I have hope. I do like you guys, so and I want to see Andy shave his head and come and intimidate everyone at LAN. That's really what
I will shave. That's a promise.
How tall do you think Andy is, Yumi?
How
What
what?
the hell?
How tall do you think Andy is?
Oh, he's probably like 7'2". That's my guess. From the photo that we saw of the Galaxy Racer.
I look like 5'1" in that photo. I'm tiny. Yeah, Andy's like 6'8", bro.
Yeah.
Wow, I look forward to seeing the bear at LAN. But I hope you guys do well this weekend. Best of luck and thanks for coming.
Thank you,
Alright.
Yummy Cheesing.
Thank you for having us, Yummy Cheese,
Have a
man.
good night. God bless everyone watching.
Yeah.
Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe. Yeah,